kick it.
Hello, hello, friends, and welcome to
The Girls Room.
The first episode of Season 3. We are so excited to be back.
Yay.
Now, we are quickly moving into fall, but
Yay.
before we do,
Spoopy season,
which is arguably my favorite
I'm already
season.
wearing my Scully
Yes.
type things.
Yes. But we
Absolutely.
thought before we would move into fall that we would talk about summer one more time before we get there. So we're going to talk about what we used to do over the summer as kids.
Yeah. Things have changed a lot compared to what my
Oh,
kids
yeah.
do now.
Yeah. Now I just try and stay inside at all costs.
Yes.
true.
Yep.
Too sweaty outside.
It's
Yeah.
too hot. I'm genetically allergic to the sun and heat. So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
because if you don't have a pool,
Yeah.
what do you do?
Yeah.
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 So, yeah, it's just,
I don't know how I
deal with
did
the
it
heat.
as a kid because I was an outdoor kid.
Always
All
go
the
outside.
time.
I don't want
It
to see you
didn't-
go out there.
It didn't get as hot as it does now. Like we didn't have like a
I don't
month
feel
of
like it did either.
90-degree days
I
when
mean,
we were
I think we
kids.
maybe didn't have the humidity. I know at least in the Midwest, like it still
Mhm.
got up there, but I think it can't have been as humid
Yeah.
as it is now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I definitely think, I was like, I don't remember it being
What?
this
Climate change?
Yeah.
I mean, the world is burning, so that can be some of
The
it.
But you know
world is on fire.
I was going to say, but we
Exactly.
didn't start the fire.
We did not start the fire. We've been doing nothing but fighting to stop the fire.
Yeah. Exactly.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
All these slogans: stop, drop,
We
and
should-
roll.
We
Yeah.
should talk about like those type of mascots.
Heck yeah.
Like Scruff McGruff and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
Chicago, Illinois.
Dare.
606
The Dare
52.
program.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
Thanks, Ronald Reagan.
I'm going to tell you about this drug and then why it's bad, and everybody
Yeah.
gets curious about it.
Look,
Drugs are
so
bad.
many things in our childhood I thought was going to be a lot more of a problem. I thought people were going to be offering me drugs on the street all the time.
Mhm.
I thought that heroin
Razor
was
blades.
going to be a bigger problem in my life. I thought there was going to be a lot of quicksand.
Mhm.
Like all of these
Yeah.
things that were like, hey, don't do this. And it's like, oh,
Spontaneous combustion.
yeah. Fires all the time.
Mm.
Just people are just
no.
giving you Halloween candy with
Yeah, with
razor
poison
blades.
or razor blades.
Oh my gosh.
I
The
mean,
way
still,
there's even
it's
one
like,
dumped
little
out our
corner-
Halloween candy.
Yeah, if there's
and
even
had
one
to
little
check it
corner
all
of the
before we ate it.
label, they could have put something in there.
man, have you ever picked up a bag of like fun size anything
Oh yeah,
from Hershey and it's like, oh, they didn't even try to wrap this
half
one.
of them are unwrapped. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, oh darn. Can't
Oh,
give that
no.
away.
No
This
shade to
is for
Hershey.
me. The kids will think I poisoned it.
It's like, can't give that one. Sorry.
Or the tiny Reese's cups that are in foil and they look like you just easily unwrap them and rewrap
Yeah.
them anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on now.
Anyway,
Anyway, summer things.
so
we
what
did
did you
over the
do on your summer vacation?
Did you ever have to do that when you went back to school? Like do like a
Yes.
little report and like report out on what you did?
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I was a weird kid though. I wasn't a weird kid. I was just a nerd because like I always looked forward to summer reading and stuff like that because I was like, oh yeah, I don't have to like make a decision on the books. They're right there. Now I
Yeah.
would get mad if it was books I didn't like, but
If we
Yeah.
did like here's your summer reading list or what's your goal for the summer? How many books do you think you're going to read for the summer? And you had to try and get that many. And I'd be like, that's like my first week. Okay.
I would
Mhm.
tear that up because during the week, my grandmother would babysit me because my dad was a professional photographer and his studio was in our basement. So my grandma would come over and watch me. And one of the things we did, if not every day or every other day, would be go to the library. And I'd
Mhm.
have a tote bag and I would do the summer reading program with the library and just read.
Yeah.
I think I might have talked about this a little bit when we were doing our books, our childhood books episode. But I used to go to the library too and come back with like big, huge stacks of books.
Yeah.
And it was like almost as good as going to the toy store for me. It
Yeah,
was like, it
man,
was free. I
absolutely.
could have all these books that I wanted. I had to bring them back, but like I could read these all.
Yeah.
And I read anyway. So when it came time for summer reading, it was like, oh, I can get points for this now, this thing I'm
Why
already
not?
doing and enjoy.
Between
And
that
so-
and like getting the AR list, the accelerated reader list, and like tag teaming it so that way when
Why
you got
not?
back you could take all those tests.
It turned into sort of a competition. Like I was also a nerd, and I had like the small group of like-minded, nerds as well. And we like, well, how many books did you read? What books are you reading? And like our parents had to sign off because you could write down whatever the heck you
Yeah,
wanted
yeah, I
on those
remember
things.
that.
But yeah, it was a competition between me, my friends Heather, Marissa, and Betsy. We were all avid readers, and it was one of those things like, okay, well, which one of it? Because we were all like technically in different classes in the same grade. Like we never knew, it was randomized going through school, so we never knew who would be up against in the new school year. But there were like medals or prizes or pizza
yeah.
parties or whatever the heck,
Yeah.
awards and rewards for whoever read the most. So it was incentive, but also you get something cool for something that you already enjoyed doing. So I definitely spent a lot of my summer like indoors on the floor, like reading books or out in the pool. We belonged to the local pool, and that was like when it was too hot, it was just like, okay, done with the pool and back
For
home.
Us, our pool, like the town pool, is by the library. So there were two libraries we would go to. The one next to our church.
That's the best of both worlds.
Yeah, because then
man.
you get like if you were going somewhere like you have to do something at the church for something. Okay, just literally run across the street, go to the library, and they had stuff going on there. Or if you're going to the pool, okay, make sure you bring your books. We're gonna go drop them off first at like the bookmobile type thing.
No, bookmobile.
And then we'll go to the pool for the day. So it was like, oh my gosh, I get everything I ever wanted.
Is the pool in the library? Is it like a TARDIS where the pool is in the library?
Man, that would be the
wish.
life.
Because
man.
then it wouldn't be sunny and I could stay in the pool as long as I wanted.
Right?
So no, it was like this big like park kind of area, and so like the bookmobile would be there, like in the parking lot kind of thing.
Nice.
So
Wow.
it was so nice.
I used to bring my books to the pool sometimes.
Yeah.
See, I
So
would,
did I.
but I would just burn. So
Yeah.
Books would get wet. I dropped one
Yeah.
in the pool once. And it
So
got
good.
crinkly, and I thought the sound of the crinkled pages was cool, but my mom was not happy. She was like, "That's not yours. You have to return it. Look at this." Okay. Sorry, it was an accident.
I'm so sorry.
you've ruined everything.
Well, no, it's just like if something isn't yours and you have to return it, you take care of it. So,
Yeah.
Responsibilities.
yeah. What about you, Meg?
Probably the one thing I remember the most was probably in my like later elementary. My parents, we had to move, we had to downsize and go into a trailer due to some job issues with my dad. And we moved into a trailer park, and but it was fine because a lot of my friends lived there in the trailer park as well. And a lady down the street had a trampoline, and that was like one of my favorite things to do was always jump on the
Yes.
trampoline, which is funny because my boys have one and they
Don't
love
touch
it.
Oh.
Well, no, they love it. It's just it's because like we talked about, like the weather is not the same when it was when we were kids because it's when it's like 95 and the heat index is in the close to 100.
You can't
I
be
was like,
jumping.
I
It's
don't let my kids
dangerous.
out there, you know.
Yeah.
It's nasty and sticky, and I was like, I don't remember it being this way. But
Stick 'em up. Stick 'em up. Splash check. There's my hand.
on the trampoline, yep.
On the trampoline.
Yeah, you gotta leave it to Splat Stanley. You got on that trampoline.
Yeah,
But,
I had a couple of friends with trampolines, and it was always my absolute joy to just spend hours outside on their trampolines.
I have never been on a trampoline.
Girl,
Maybe
we're gonna
now
find a
that we all have
trampoline.
back problems now, so maybe now wouldn't be great. But
We should go
in
to one of the
theory-
adult nights at like the trampoline parks.
Oh,
So
there's
then-
one not There's one by the hotel you guys stayed at.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember because the
Go
kids
to
were
the
like, "Can we
lake.
go there?" And I'm like,
Over-
"I have one in heaven." So.
Surely they have to have like an over 30 trampoline night.
Adult night.
Let me ask my spinal surgeon what his thoughts are. At least let me get out
I mean,
of
not
my,
right now.
Yeah,
I have to
only-
sign a bunch of documents, like no
wait at
liability.
least
right?
a year. So
I'm only
like,
2 weeks post-op on my back
Jeez.
surgery, so probably should wait a little
Wait,
bit.
hold off.
Trampling tomorrow.
Oh no!
Someone
how
joked
how
that, like,
hardcore can you go?
someone said, you're going to be tap dancing within the first week. And I was like, I mean, I wasn't that good at tap dancing as a kid, so I don't know about that.
I loved tap dancing, but even then, I don't think I could do it.
My surgery can make me proficient in tap dancing.
This is a miracle.
Well, one of the things, like living out there in the trailer park, we had this. We did it wasn't really much of a playground. It was kind of a worn down playground that they had, but they had this huge, giant tire, just a tire, just like monster truck size. I remember, and I used to love climbing to the top of it, and I'd stand on top of the tire and just be like,
Queen of the world.
yeah, like because Titanic came out in like 97. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Was
and
it like upright? Like
yeah, it was like a
Oh,
stand
wow.
upright, like monster truck size tire. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how it was there. I just remember it always being there.
wow.
And like people could sit inside the tire or they'd climb up to the top, and that's what I always did. I used to love climb up there. And then that was when like Harriet the Spy had come out,
Oh.
Mhm.
and I
Did you
was
carry a
like,
notebook with you?
I carried a notebook everywhere.
Yup.
So like I would get on top of the tire and I'd sit up there with my Harriet the
Yup.
Spy notebook and be like,
Yes.
Just
I'm gonna
watch.
observe all these people in this trailer
Mhm.
park. And I'm like, be interested.
That's when I
today to find
started
out.
people watching, and
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
this time,
That's what
it's
I
just
did.
become a hobby. Some of my favorite things to do is just go grab a coffee and sit and just people watch.
I like to make
Yeah.
up conversations for the people.
I like,
Yes.
yeah, or like be like,
This is their first date.
this is their life. Yeah, like,
Oh gosh.
Something about the wide ruled composition books, like I bought these specifically because I like writing in them, but I did a Harriet the Spy rewatch, and on this one that I'm using as a writer's journal, I did write private on it the way she did with like the
Yes,
different
you did.
colors
Love that.
because
Yep. Those are the composition books that Sam has to have for school. So
They
I'm
were
like, you can Harriet
required.
the Spy journals.
we
and
needed
he's
like the
what?
specifically the marble black and white composition books
Yep.
for science class. So this is like a
I-
staple of my
I
childhood.
always loved how they looked, but I hated how they were made. I
It's
was
hard
a
to open them.
spiral
You
bound
couldn't
girl.
like fold it.
Mm,
Yeah.
If you tore a page
regular
out, then the
notebook.
other one on
Yeah.
the other side that was attached to it would fall out. Too.
I'd get them for the aesthetic because I love how they look, and then I'd start using them, and I'm like, I hate it. I just want my spiral bound notebook.
I found like a stack of them in the basement when we were doing stuff in the basement. I kept them all because I was like, I'd like
Yes.
to revisit this Heather.
Yeah.
Yes, honor that, Heather.
Yeah,
She was a mess, but we're
I've
both
reread
messes.
some of my old notebooks, and I'm like, oh, girl, you didn't know what to do with those big
Same.
feelings, and that's okay.
Yeah.
I was like, what was I thinking?
It was either big feeling journals or it was fan fiction.
Listen,
I tried so hard to be a fan fiction writer. I will say that loudly and
Did you?
proudly. I tried so hard. I am not a creative writer. I have never been,
Same.
never will be. You give me a
Yep.
research paper though, all day, every day. I can
My-
just hammer those out, but creative, I
Hated
can't
writing.
tell a
See-
story to save my
See,
life.
My
Like
best-
most. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. My best friend and I would write a story together. Like it was two characters, best friends from their point of views, same story. So like I would write
Did
my
tandem
pieces.
fix. I
We
love
did.
that.
So I'd write my piece, hand off the book. She'd write her piece,
Oh,
hand
yeah,
off the
yeah.
book, and it was kind
I-
of like we'd
we
read
did
each
that
other's
in high
stuff and
school.
like tell the stories off. of it.
That's awesome.
Love that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it was
wasn't
about-
so much.
Hanson, because duh.
Duh.
It was never so much fan fiction for me. Like I appreciate that, but most things I took entirely too seriously. So I was like, it's a spec script. It's not fanfic. Like I was so seriously trying to like even before I took film classes, I was trying to like get formatting and all that stuff. So like I was writing scripts more than like fanfic.
Oh yeah,
but-
man.
or maybe it was fan fiction.
But
I'm just like
is it?
delusional, but like
I completely
I never-
forgot
I
about
just-
fan fiction.
I
I
never
used
posted.
to read fan. It was definitely
I did
teenage
too.
years, but
Yeah.
I read so much fan fiction all the time, but I kept it to myself because I was like, no, everyone's going to think I'm weird. I can't talk about it. Can we talk about, I'm so glad that we're having this discussion.
A bag.
I have to talk to people who understand this because everyone I've been talking to, no one gets it. Is it blowing your mind right now that it is now cool to read fan fiction? It is now
book
so
talk, like,
cool. Like book talk has blown up, so like
Oh my
smutty books and all
gosh.
that. But like people are downloading fan fiction and putting it on their Kindles.
Yeah.
And then they're like recommending fan fiction to each other. And then on top of that,
I mean, movies are being made based off of like One Direction fan fiction.
Like Daisy and the Six is essentially Fleetwood Mac fan fiction. Like, and then on top of that, there are fan fictions that are like Harry Potter fan fictions that were so popular and like hundreds of chapters long that have now been taken down because they became so popular that they're making them into books.
Oh my god!
Like 50 Shades was based
that
on
was Twilight fan fiction. Like,
so I'd have that conversation. I'd have that conversation with somebody in the industry where she's like, "What's fan fiction?" And here I am knowing there's fan fiction written about like characters that she has portrayed. I'm like, nothing. It's nothing. It's nothing. And then like another person in the conversation was like explaining it using the Twilight and 50 Shades comparison. I'm like, please don't. No, you're making it worse. That's
blows my mind when I am doom scrolling on my phone and they're like, these are the fan fictions I read this week. And I was like, we're just out and proud about it now. Where was this when I was a teenager being like, no, don't look at my search history. You'll see that I'm reading fan fiction.
And that was like the cool thing is because my friend actually like ended up moving to my neighborhood. So like I would just walk to her house. I was like, this is the best thing ever. Bring the notebook. And there was like, because we each wrote stuff. So like she wrote this like horror series. And I think we've talked about it, like her and I. When we were cleaning out the basement, I found a tote bag, all of our notebooks, and like printer, like
if you ever want to do a dramatic reading, you let me know. I'm there.
Oh yes,
let's do it. There was one she wrote. It was called Fatal Friendship, and it was like
that's such a good title.
And it was about like these friends, and like one of them ends up. It's very much like not like Idle Hands, but like that kind of like. Yeah. Horror type thing. One of them becomes murdered. It was, I like love it. I think there was like, I'm gonna like ask her right now. I feel like there was like Fatal Friendship 2, 3. I don't remember. Like
it was a series.
Electric
yeah, like it would end. Like so good.
Going on.
I love that. I'm gonna message her right now.
We need let's put this down as like a deep dive that we need to continue.
Hold on, I've got episodes.
I forgot about what we were talking about.
Summer.
Should this go under activities?
I can't.
Who cares?
I'll put it under books and magazines.
Okay.
Fan fiction.
So technically, it is something we did in the summer.
Yeah. No, it counts.
It
seems
is
like it's something we need to have a different conversation about because we could talk forever.
I do have something else that I really did a lot in the summer, especially with my friends that I lived in the neighborhood with in the trailer park, is I would always go to one of my friends' house because her dad never cared if she checked out rated R movies.
Yeah.
So that was when I actually watched Scream. Sorry, Sam, if you watch this, but he probably won't.
Yep.
But I was
don't do what Mom did.
Don't do what Mom did. I know Alex is like, don't tell him that.
It's never a good idea.
That's how I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer.
That's how I watched so many scary movies.
Sleepovers.
Friend's house over the summers.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember nights or days just going over her house.
And I couldn't sleep after every single one of them.
That's The Exorcist.
Wow. I watched
I don't remember what else we watched. Scream.
What's the one with the like tooth fairy who kills you?
All I can think of is Leprechaun.
It's not Candyman. It's
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I watched that at somebody's house over the summer, and like it scared the living
Killer Tooth Fairy movie.
Yeah.
Because I remember Candyman.
Well, there was one called
that was big.
The Tooth Fairy.
Is it Darkness Falls?
Darkness Falls.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I remember that.
Scared the crap out of me as a kid.
I've never put my tooth under the pillow anymore.
On lighter notes, we lived on our bicycles.
Yeah, I did too.
everywhere. That's my sister's like, I don't know, we just rode our bicycles everywhere. Like the
I did too,
park,
yeah.
the big park was like a mile from my
Mm,
parents'
nice.
house. So we would either ride around, like my parents' neighborhood is a big circle. So we would either ride around the circle or we would ride to the park, ride through the park, come back. We would create like obstacle courses in the
Mhm.
driveway.
Yeah.
We pretty much lived outside, either that or
Yeah.
like chi sidewalk chalk, sidewalk sock. Jeez, sidewalk
Sidewalk chalk.
chalk is big.
I was a
Big
fiend
chalk
with
person.
sidewalk chalk.
Yeah.
Our whole driveway would
Absolutely.
just be covered.
That
Yeah.
summer rain would wash away your
Yep.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
I'm
Start
glad we
again.
passed it down to my kids because Jensen loved to go outside. Like,
Sidewalk
especially when he
chalk's the
was like
best,
2 or
man.
3, he really wanted to go out there. And when Emma used to babysit Jensen, she would always take him outside, and she'd like let's draw, and he loved it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So my grandparents, so my mom's dad and mom, so my mom's side, my grandparents on my mom's side is what I'm trying to say. Grandma lived next to her sister, so like big extended family situation. So like all of the kids and grandkids would come up for 4th of July, and there were maybe 30 to 40 people between the two homes that were there for 4th of July, and we used to have
Yeah.
big picnics. So
Oh,
my
yeah.
grandpap would have like croquet, he would have sack races, he would have
So
tug of
much
war,
fun.
he would set up all these
That's
games
cool,
for
man.
the kids, and it would like every single year. And so we grew up, it was like summer camp almost, where
Love that.
we had I think our favorite was like this big tarp would be put on the lawn with a bunch of shredded
Balls?
paper on top of it,
Oh.
and he would throw coins into it, and the kids would try to dig for the coins and
that's
collect as
nice.
much money as they could.
So
And
freaking
of course, we had
cool.
like meager allowances, so it was like,
yeah.
oh, I could get like 5 times my allowance in the one go. So it was pretty cool because there were a lot of kids like between the two homes.
Yeah.
There was a tree house, and he lived on a farm, so there was a lot of land for us to wander around. We went to the woods, but it was like this big 4th of July picnic was every year. It was a whole bunch of family playing summer games and little mini Olympics, family Olympics
love
in a way.
that.
So
You
and we
just, like,
caught fireflies at the end of the night. Like that was
Yes.
Catching
peanut butter
them.
jars and with
Yep,
those
poke your
those are
holes
some
in the
really great
lid.
memories. Yeah,
you
fireflies, really
unlocked
great memories
a
there.
core memory
Yeah.
of like playing badminton in like my
Yeah.
parents' driveway, like for picnics and stuff like that. And like
Yeah.
I think it was my grandmother or my grandfather's sibling. He had to be in his like 70s or something like that. And he was jump roping. And I was like, wow, I want to be in your health, like at your age.
Right?
Like, he was just like going down. My mom's like, should you be doing that? He's
Oh.
a lot older, but like he was just like jump roping away with us.
Okay,
love
does
jumping rope.
anybody else know the outdoor game Spud? You essentially play it with just like a dodgeball situation and just a group of people. Okay.
Doesn't sound
Remember
familiar.
it.
I
So
might
at
know
these-
by a different name. How do you
Okay.
play it?
So at these picnics, group of people, everybody has a number. And number one throws the ball up in the air and yells a number. Whoever is that number has to
run
catch
and
it,
catch
it.
yell out
Yeah.
Spud. Everybody else stops. And whoever has the ball has to take 3 steps and then hit the
Throw it.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whoever gets SPUD, kind of like horse, like SPUD
Yes.
gets out.
Oh, interesting.
So
I don't remember what
Yeah.
I remember it as, but I have
Yeah.
played that game.
I remember
So
that now
to
that
this
you're saying it.
day, my cousins we talk about Spud because like
Did we
growing
maybe
up,
call it popcorn?
maybe
that
I don't
kind of
know.
sounds familiar.
Maybe.
We knew it as
That
Spud.
I know it
That's
is Spud
great.
as well.
Because it was always crazy, like a bunch of you running,
Yeah.
Yeah.
On top of being a nerd, I was also a sports kid. I loved sports. So
Mhm.
the summer for me, I tried to do competitive swimming like 1 year and I was just too anxious.
Yeah.
But I would take swimming classes. I would take them all year, but like the summer I would go specifically and take it like at an outdoor pool and do that. But it was also really big for tennis for me.
Mm.
I loved tennis. At one point I was nationally ranked. It was
Wow.
way down just because I had to register to compete in tournaments. So I technically had a ranking, but it was
Okay.
just like nothing. But I loved tennis. And then I would also take the high schools usually, and I think they still do some of them. I don't know now that there's not a kid in my house, because like I knew while Casey, my sister, was growing up, the high schools would have like camps, like summer camps for the different sports. So like when I'd go to like basketball camp, like a week where, during the day they'd drop me off at one of the high schools, and like I'd play basketball and do drills. I did volleyball camp, I did tennis camp. Like I was the most active kid. I was just all no stop go when I was younger. And then when I got older, it was bikes. I would just be on my bike with my friends. We never did bad stuff. I always say I was a street hooligan, but like we weren't. We would just ride around and talk.
Yeah.
Like we didn't actually.
Hooliganless.
Yeah. No
Yeah.
shenanigans, just being a street kid.
I mean, we tell kids today. Now I feel old. We tell people that like when we were your age, we would ride around on bikes, and then our parents would just like yell outside, tell us to come in for dinner, and like
I knew that I had to be home before it was dark.
Yeah, it's like there were periods of time where my parents probably thought they knew where we
street
were,
light
but
came on.
it wasn't like we didn't have cell phones.
No.
We didn't have
when the street
find
light
my
came on, you had to go
iPhone
home.
and like tracking and everybody. So it was
And I
like,
want to be perfectly honest.
call us when you get to your friend's house and all that stuff.
It was no less dangerous than it is now. Let's be perfectly honest. Everybody tries to like rose-colored glasses.
It was a different world.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Because we just didn't have the available. We didn't have
we
the
were just
data
not
available at our hand.
constantly aware of what was happening all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah. So kids, I highly doubt kids are listening. But kids, if you're listening, just be careful. But also, your parents love you and they just want you to be safe.
Yeah. They want you to come home.
And if we talk about shenanigans, don't do them. It's looking back. Not a good idea. Don't do it.
Don't be going watching radar movies without your mom's permission.
Don't steal stop signs from in front
My
of
mom would have killed me if she knew.
Right. Speaking of moms, though, my mom, I talk about my mom all the time. Hi, Mom. I know you're listening. Because she calls me every time one of our episodes posts and talks about it. But my mom, whether we could afford a summer trip or whether we could not, my mom always came up with something, at least one or two things for us to do every year. And some of my fondest memories were like, we did a Disney trip like every once in a while, not like close, but like our beach trips. But my absolute favorite is over a weekend. We'd just do like a single day and we would drive to a major city, because where I'm from, Evansville, Indiana is called the Crossroads of America. They're not lying. I never got that when I was little, but now that I'm old, if you drive 6 hours in any direction, within that 6 hours, you were going to hit a major city somewhere. So we would take a day trip to Louisville or up to Indianapolis or to St. Louis or to Nashville. And we'd go to the zoo, because I love a zoo. I still love a zoo. We'd go to like a kids museum or a science museum. And again, I love them. And then we'd like have lunch, dinner, whatever, and then we'd come back home. And those are some of my fondest memories. They're still some of my favorite things to do today.
Absolutely.
And so if you ever don't feel like you can, because like everybody feels pressure about what we're supposed to do. And it's like, you can do things that are not very expensive and your kids will love it. I guarantee it. Because yes, we went to the beach. Yes, we went to Disneyland. But like some of my absolute favorite memories of trips we took were just day trips to go see something.
Yeah.
And I know we've said it before, look into your local libraries.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has the Rad Pass.
They extended the Rad Pass. Did you see that?
No.
It's going to be for the full year. They're extending the Rad Pass for the full year. But check in, especially like zoos. Like if you have a local zoo, because that's how we did a lot of our zoo trips, because Mesker Zoo in Evansville, Indiana is an accredited zoo. And so if you have a membership there, you can usually go to other accredited zoos either for free or for a even discounted rate. And so you can just, and I love zoos. I still love zoos. I just can't do the heat anymore.
My sister
That's
and
why
her
we did
husband go
museums.
every year to a zoo. Like,
it's so fun. I've seen a crazy amount of zoos. And like, it's like, the more I think about it, I'm like, oh yeah, like at one point we went to visit, my uncle was stationed in Virginia at one point, and so like we went out there and like we stopped in DC, and like we went to the zoo in DC. I don't remember a lot of it because it was very little, but it's like I've been to that zoo. I've been to all the zoos in, you know, a
do a
general.
zoo checklist. See if you
Yeah,
can.
You should.
I love a zoo.
Just something special about them.
A
I
major.
like the.
Go ahead, Kat.
I was gonna say I like the Children's Museum. There's one in
Yes,
particular near
yes.
the Pennsylvania-Delaware border that I used to go to all the time, and they had like, you know, the one exhibit would change like toward the front, but then the rest of it was pretty much the same. But every single time, my friend Marissa and I would find something new that we hadn't seen before in there.
Yeah.
So we'd be like running all over the place. My favorite part was there's this glass floor tile thing where they had like they had an air exhibit, a sea exhibit, and a land exhibit, and then the sea exhibit they had this clear glass floor tile, and underneath they had a coral reef, so you could like
That's so
so
cool.
walk on it. And just I hadn't been there in years, and then a few years ago I went with my friend Lee, and like a lot of stuff had changed, that part hadn't, and she has a picture of me spinning around like mid spin on this glass
Magical.
top thing where it's like, this is my childhood.
Yeah.
Carnegie Science Center in Pittsburgh has something similar.
That's
like
still
they have,
one I haven't
been there,
seen
yeah.
yet.
We
I gotta
really
go.
wanted to go there when we were
Come back.
visiting.
You gotta
I'll
come
go.
back. There's so much more to do.
I know. We really
And
wanted to go to that one, but we didn't have the
the
money.
cool thing
They
is they
still
have
the
like
bees.
I don't remember. I
Not
don't
the one with the
I don't-
bees. They had like a honeycomb thing toward like on
They
the outside of the
might.
building that connects in, so you can
I know
like,
they used
see
to.
the clear tube and see the honeycombs.
I haven't been there in so long because I used to be I was an intern there
Oh,
before
cool.
college for my marine biology major, which I didn't end up getting.
That's awesome. We need to talk about that.
You
Holy
lived
crap.
the dream.
I
You did
know.
it.
We
I-
need to talk.
I was supposed to be at the zoo for my internship at the aquarium. And it was when you probably didn't live here yet, Kylie, it was when all the sharks were dying.
Oh
Because they all were
no.
sick, and it was just slowly, so they're like, we can't have you at the aquarium, so they took us to the science center.
Everything's
And-
dying. You can't be here.
Oh God, no. So they actually had there's a few aquariums inside of the Carnegie Science Center, and we then took care of those
Oh,
and just
really?
learned. And because
I
we were
gotta
then
go.
down there, we went on they also have a boat that does like, it's like a science boat. I can't remember what it was called, but it
Glass
would
bottom boat.
something like that. It went through the rivers, obviously, and then we would pull samples and test the waters. And
Oh,
it was at the
cool.
time where we
Nice.
were having a huge trouble with these zebra mollusks and stuff like that. So like I remember we were so excited because we only went once a week, and we had just new fish. I remember in the tanks.
Is it for everybody or is it just me?
No,
Oh,
Heather, you're freezing. a
I'm
little
Okay,
back.
bit.
hold on. Hold on.
There
You're
you
back.
go.
All
I'm
right.
back.
You were
So
freezing up a little bit.
you only went once a week.
Yes, we went once a week, and we had seahorses, and we were so excited. They got all these new seahorses in, put them in the tank. Next week, we're gonna, see how they're acclimating. Next week, tank was empty. Why? What's going on? The filtration system
Oh
was too
no.
strong,
no.
and it sucked them all in. And
Oh,
we weren't allowed to do much with the tanks after that.
I shouldn't be laughing, but that's horrible. But it's
They're
so
like, you know
horrible.
what? Why don't you guys do some more samples on the river? I wasn't even in college yet. I
Hey,
was still in high school.
So
I didn't
we're
know.
sounds
down to
like
summer
they had to work
internships.
out some of the kinks.
So we want to talk about summer internships. Here's another weird one. This is in 2003, I think. So not the 90s, but still high school.
Close.
I spent a summer as a student intern at a forensic toxicology lab. because this was back when CSI was like the big thing.
Oh yes.
So no dead bodies or anything. It was,
Aww.
you know, with all the GCMS mass spectrometer situations, like you see Greg on CSI in the lab with all the big machinery and stuff. It take forever to run, so it wasn't like exciting. There was no like sexy techno music in the background. It was just a bunch of teenagers being like,
it wasn't just a
herded.
montage.
No montages with techno music. The lighting was very fluorescent, not dim at all.
Ugh.
You didn't have all these lights like.
No,
I was gonna try and change the light in here, but it wasn't working.
Oh, there it goes.
There it is.
Ba, 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 ba.
But yeah, one of my high school teachers was a mentor that year. So we got into some trouble. We did some of our own experiments with like we left some meat out back and watched like the bugs that came to feast and other stuff like that. That was like borderline gross, but also kind of cool, science related stuff. But so yeah, that was an interesting summer.
I loved CSI, like, and at one point I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a crime scene investigator.
I know I'd puke.
And then I hit high school and I realized like I don't do well at the sight of blood. And like I get faint. And I'm like, no, I'm not.
back then I was kind of like dead inside, so I was like, yeah, this is cool, like depersonalizing.
I thought I
being
was
really jaded
too.
and desensitized, and now I'm like, I would never be able to.
I love the idea of like trying to figure out the trajectory of bullets and stuff like that. And then my body betrayed me, and my body was like, not for you. I also learned, because I had my family was very large, like extended family. So like as a kid, I went to probably a lot more funerals than most people had. So like I also learned, and again, I wasn't able to put a name to it until I was an adult, like I had an irrational fear of dead bodies. Didn't know that was a thing. And I had a friend who had a summer internship one year at the morgue, and
he just gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Every day she was there, because we would hang out after. I was like, I will not hang out with you until you go home and take a shower and change clothes.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't do it.
You wouldn't have been able to hang out with me then, because guess where I went after school every day?
No.
To my grandparents, who worked at a funeral home in Henderson. My grandpa was a mortician.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
My uncle.
My grandmother worked in the office.
Have you talked to Kevin about this?
I don't know if I've told Kevin.
You need to tell Kevin about this.
Because every time I go to the funeral home, so like we were just there for my grandmother who passed, and I was just like, this just feels like I'm at home, because it's like because they had a downstairs where they had a lounge, and then they downstairs is where also the room is that they work on the bodies. And then they also had another room that my grandpa used to put me in when I would watch TV in. So I was literally like sitting right next door,
adjacent
to the room where all the dead bodies. And he goes, "I'll be next door if you need
I would have had a mental breakdown. I would have. And like, again, I didn't know that's what it was. I thought everybody felt weird at funerals if they were up near the body. I thought everyone did that. And then like, I finally, when I got into therapy as an adult, and like, I brought it up because I'd gone to a funeral, and I was like, yeah, like I just like, I broke out in like my neck and my chest were splotchy, and like I felt like an anxiety attack. And she was like,
yeah,
hey, that's not normal.
That's not a typical response. And I was like, what do you mean?
It's like I said, like Veda from My Girl. She was always like, she was very much like that. She would always feel like she was dying because she was literally living in a funeral home.
Ugh.
So yeah, no, that's all I was like.
That's crazy.
I pretty much just sat down in the room watching TV after school with my grandpa, and you were probably working on a body in the next room.
Nance.
I've made a friend recently who is a mortician. And I think the first conversation we had, I did not know, because he didn't mention it until later in the conversation, but he was working while we were having the conversation, and he was like, hey, thanks for the great conversation today. It really made work fly by. And I was like,
oh no.
What do you mean?
Work?
Just
I was like, oh, was there a funeral today? And he was like, no. And I was like, no. What do you mean?
Yeah. Forensic scientists have interesting sense of humor.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of one-upmanship type stories of like things that they've seen in med school or on the job, and it just gets weird. So
the look on Bob Barker's face when my grandfather told him what his occupation was when they were on The Price is Right. My grandparents and my dad.
The Price is Right.
Yes, my
Start with that. That's also summer.
And my uncle and my dad. My dad had just turned 18 and graduated high school, and they flew out to California, and they decided to just go. They were just, gonna go and at least, sit there in the audience or whatever. But Dad, he tells me, he goes, well, it was 1982 because my dad graduated 82, and he said it was that summer, and he said they interview you and they want to know a little about you, where you're from, what you do for a job, and he said when they asked Dad, my grandpa, he said when they asked him what he did, he goes, I'm a mortician, and they were like, okay. So he goes, I think that's how they pick their contestants. They ended up getting on the front row. Like they got there so early, but they're sitting right in the front row, and they called my grandpa's name to contestant row.
That's crazy.
So, wow. He didn't get called on stage because everybody kept, like, they would either bid $1 above, $1
or one below. Yeah.
So yeah, when he got up there, Bob Barker said, well, Jerry, where are you from? And my grandfather had a very Southern accent. So he goes, well, I'm from Henderson, Kentucky. And he goes, well, wow, okay, you're far away. And he said, well, what do you do back in Henderson? He said, well, I'm a mortician. And Bob Barker went,
oh,
well, there ain't no dead bodies here.
I hope not.
And then the camera panned off to my grandma, and she's just down there going, that's just how she was. Like, aw. She was always like that. But yeah, Dad said it was so funny. But his face just dropped. Like, because he was all, what do you do? I'm a mortician.
Oh.
My dad had a recording of it on videotape. I don't know if he still has it or not. But
that's great.
You'll have to find it.
It was pretty awesome. I would love to tell that story. So, but yeah, I used to go there after school too. Crazy. That's funny that you said that. And I was like, that's actually where I used to go some days after school because my parents worked till like 5.
How did I not know this until now? That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was like, and then another funny story is when my grandpa took another job as a mortician at another funeral home in Henderson. They ended up renting they had an apartment, like a 1-bedroom apartment above the funeral home. And my grandparents rented that. They would stay there since they were working there. So I've stayed the night in a funeral home.
That's my nightmare.
There you go.
That's my nightmare.
Weekend at Mort's.
Yes, exactly. It was weekend at Mort's.
I can't say anything because honestly, when I was a kid, like I picked my own casket. So because we went, I think it was my grandmother's cousin or something like that owned a local funeral home, and we would go there sometimes. And I don't know if I was there for a funeral or for something else, and I was like, oh, this is the one I want. My grandma's like, okay.
Okay,
what a weirdo.
So
that's not weird.
So
you just
summer theater. Everyone, summer theater. I feel like you can't tell this conversation without talking about summer theater.
Mm-hmm.
But my quick summer theater story is that I was in Oliver. I played Mrs. Sourberry. It was like an all kids production, so would have gone to an adult, but whatever.
Yeah.
I was Mrs. Sourberry, and Oliver needed to push me into the coffin at like the end of my scene. So they needed to construct a coffin that I would fit in. So I got measured for my coffin.
It's like the Wild West.
I'm like sitting against, like, it stood up against the wall.
The things you get measured for in theater is bizarre.
Insane.
It's
bizarre. So like, it's my coffin. And then it ended up being the prop trunk for a while, but I would always be like, that's my coffin. And I think it kind of made my mom uncomfortable.
I mean, we did a production of Chicago, and the Allison, who played our Hungarian, like had to be measured for the noose on stage to make sure that it was long enough that it wouldn't hurt her. And it was just like, that's weird. All right.
I'm gonna see if I can find a picture. There's a picture of me like in the coffin. I'm gonna see if I can insert that
I
here.
was gonna say my friend Harmony, when we did The Man Who Came to Dinner at Stage 2 just like 2 years ago, and she had to, at the end of it, her character gets shoved into a sarcophagus, a mummy sarcophagus. So they built it, Kurt built it, and because she had to get shoved in there, and I'm like, girl, how do you say it in this thing? She goes, I don't like it one bit.
I
am gonna throw another summer activity that Alex and I actually both did a lot, and we still do with our kids, is Vacation Bible School.
I did too.
Yes.
I went to Catholic school in elementary school, and we did Vacation Bible School every year.
I was attending and then
working
and then teaching like throughout my lifespan.
One experience I never had.
Once I did
CCD,
school,
but I never did Vacation Bible
That
School.
kind of changed, but elementary school, the school I went to had a Vacation Bible School each summer.
Of course, both my boys love it, but I loved it growing up. I always looked forward to it because it was just, in case if you were stuck at home or couldn't go anywhere fun, you were looking forward to getting out of the house. But and the boys look forward to it a lot too.
I made so many crafts.
And sometimes the meals were like actually pretty good. So I was like, one year we did it when I was actually like teaching or helping out with it. The girl that was head up all of our meals, like, oh my gosh, she was making like quesadillas, and she made like
snacks.
We would have snacks and we would have lunch, and like 90% of the time they would reach out to businesses who would want to basically like support. So like we'd have giant party subs from Subway or like pizza, and of course that was special. So
we had the owner of a pizza shop was one of like the big people at the church, so he would send stuff. Now that you said that, I was like, I guess we did have pizza from Beltry's, my favorite. My sisters both ended up working there. Summer jobs, worked at Burger King.
I didn't have a summer job till high school, but my first job was Cold Stone.
Nice. Oh yes.
Mine was Wendy's.
Burger King, have it your way.
We can do
Regal
do a
Cinemas.
whole.
Oh, see, I'd love that.
We can do a whole episode. I was one to work the movie theater, but they never.
I did too,
because they always hired the older kids.
It was pretty cool
didn't have
until we had to actually like be open for the Harry Potter movie premiere nights when everybody was just like unhinged.
Insane. Yeah.
I went to those, and as much as I loved going to
unhinged.
those, I also no, I was not. I was the one who was sitting there, and like I would go in a costume, but like I was a good kid because now again, I know it's the autism. I was constantly scared of being in trouble. I was constantly scared of breaking rules, whether they existed or not. So I was like, don't do bad things. Don't do it. So like I would go to those and I would be on my best behavior, but like kids would be running around and stuff. I'm like, I would get so stressed out until we would get in the movie theater, and then I was fine.
Yeah. No, yeah, I always wanted to, but because we had a movie theater in Henderson called Old Orchard Cinema, and it was right there on our strip as you come into on 41, which like I said, Kylie's the only one that know that. But and it was like it. It was one of those like you actually went up to the ticket window and you had to pay for your ticket there, and and then go in the building, and they actually had like arcade game, like they actually had pinball machines and like, oh my god, like I just miss it. It was a smaller theater, so it only had like 4 or 5 screens, but it was like the place to
South,
go.
Man, that was it for me. And then now it's apartments.
Yeah, they tore it down.
My favorite movie theater is the Dollar General. The Dollar General the Kennywood day that we we
stopped in the parking lot.
That Dollar General used to be the movie theater. One of the other things I remember a lot in more towards like high school days. So in high school, you could test out of like you didn't have to take gym. You could take summer gym so that you would it was pretty cool. Well, because a lot of like the band kids would do that, so they didn't have to take gym, and you could test out of swimming. So like I tested out of swimming.
Our school didn't have a pool, thank God.
We didn't have a pool either.
So I tested out, and then you would just do summer gym. And so you would go, and it was at the middle school, and it was a lot of Billy Blanks, Tybo,
Yes.
on like really
we
crappy
had them
days.
at home, and I loved those.
I do
tapes.
too. I
We
still
should
have
do an
some.
episode on fitness tapes too.
Oh my gosh.
Walking
Yes.
away the pounds with Leslie
Mom had the
Sansone.
Jane Fonda ones.
Jane
all of
Fonda.
them. Yeah,
Richard
man.
Simmons.
Buns of steel.
Went into the oldie.
Buns of Steel. Jordy has his Buns of Steel back here somewhere.
Yes.
But yeah, we would do that. You would have outdoor days where it was like kickball, frisbee. You could just do laps around the school, because you would have like a time where you would have to do something structured. Everybody had to do this, and then the rest of the time was like yours. So a lot of people would go off and play kickball. People would go off and do this. Courtney and I would just do laps around the school. Because you're like, okay, it's nice out. We're just walking, talking talk about our fan fiction, right? And then if it was an inside day, you did like laps. You do like the presidential fitness like stuff.
Oh gosh, yes.
Did you see they're bringing that back?
Yeah.
Prepare the boys.
Why? Just
Yeah,
why?
gym was always a required course all throughout high school. Like you didn't have to take
It wasn't
4
for me.
years of sciences or whatever. You had to take 4 years of English, history, and gym.
We
We didn't have to
We had
after
to
ninth
take
grade.
2 years. We had to take 2 years of gym, and then you and like your freshman year, you had to take like PE1, PE2. And then the second year, you could take 2 electives, or you could take the same elective twice. And it's so funny because as much of an active kid as I was, I hated gym class. And I think part of it is because I would sweat so much, and I refused to take I'm like, I'm not going to.
There's no time to take a shower after.
I hated to take a shower that day.
Yeah, I wouldn't
did
do
too.
it. But on the other side, even as active as I was, I have never, even in my best high school athlete shape, I have never been a runner. I cannot breathe
me
well
neither.
when I run.
I played ball and
I have
volleyball.
two large reasons why I
Yes,
cannot run.
these, and then something with my lungs and my heart. I just cannot. I have never felt a runner's high. I don't believe it exists because I've never experienced it. But
Manny would
That's what
probably
Alex
disagree
enjoys.
with you, but
that's fair. But like, so much of gym was running.
Running.
It
Yep.
was, and I hated it. But my sophomore year, one of the class options was aerobics. And like I said, we had videos and stuff at home.
Yes.
And my mom had a step aerobics video and had like the steps with the
Yes.
little risers. I loved aerobics class.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I took that at a club.
I took it an extra year. Actually, did I? I may have even continued it through my senior year because we would go in and we'd do some kind of video, or we'd do a step thing to fun music. And
Yeah.
then every Friday was my favorite day because we would dress out and all we would do was do a meditation the whole class. We would just
I would
lay there
love
and
that.
she would lead us on a guided meditation. I would walk out of there just so calm, cool, and collected into the craziness that is the halls of high school.
Wow.
I loved it.
magical. I
Yeah,
would have loved
Don't
that.
make kids run. Encourage kids to find activities that they enjoy and let
Yeah.
them be active that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always dreaded the timed mile run for the presidential
passed
fitness
it.
thing.
I would have to rerun it 2 or 3 times, and at one point I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Sam's
even care
actually
what I
not
got.
in PE right now. He's in middle
Hey.
school, and he's got 2 electives, and his electives are band and choir.
Yeah,
So
man.
he has no room because the rest of them
That's
are.
how I was.
So I was like, I said, you're not having to take PE.
It
He
also
goes, "I guess
made me
not."
sad. And I mean, obviously I get it, but like over the summer, especially in high school, I would do like the summer musicals.
Mhm.
And I did marching band, and it
Yeah.
always drove me nuts that marching band was a fine arts credit and not a PE credit because
Yeah, because
it
you're
Yeah.
should
sweating
have
to death.
been both.
They treated it like a sport at my high
Oh,
school. Like it was
yeah.
more serious than football.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
We used to give the football players crap because our football team was so bad. My freshman year, great. We almost made it to state. Every year after that, trash. So by my senior year, people were coming to the games to see the
see
marching
the
band.
marching band.
And it's like we had guys who had been on the football team like freshman year who like tried to do both. And then by sophomore year, they're like, you have to choose. You can't do both. And so they would choose marching band. And they were like, this is 10 times harder than football. And I'm like, yeah, of course it is.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it is.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
My friend messaged me the other day, or called me the other day. She's like, oh man, I just saw someone walking, crossing the intersection. It was the most beautiful roll step I've ever seen. They either just like are still ingrained in their brain or.
I was so glad because like I played saxophone, but I didn't want to march my saxophone. So I did color guard, which was one of my favorite things I've ever done. There's days that I still miss it. But when we would do drills, they would try and make us do a rolling step. And I'm like, we don't do that. I don't know how to do that. So they would let us, and I was a dancer from the moment I probably like age 3 was my first dance class. And they were like, just dance or walk. And I was like, I got this all day, every day. Let's go.
Love that. I was the only one, my sisters were they were in the pit. So they were like percussion, they did marching band.
That's what my sister did.
I just did choir, but like I was one of the only kids. Like most of the kids were either in summer gym because of other things or marching band. So I was like, I just don't want to be in gym class with these hooligans. So I didn't want to be gross and go back to class because I'm already bullied for everything else. I'd rather just be with my friends in summer gym.
I mean, if anything, they could have made it at the end of the day, so that way you were just going home.
Yeah, I feel like it should have been a requirement.
Second period.
Yeah, they had electives depending on what grade you were in. They grouped them like electives were like either first and second, third and fourth,
like
sometimes seventh and eighth, I think, because they had lunch.
Swimming was like
middle.
First period, like.
But yeah, it made no sense.
My favorite
Give sweaty first period.
When I got into aerobics one year, aerobics was the period before I had lunch, so I'd be like, "Yeah, let's go."
Yeah. Those are I don't really miss much of it. I miss riding my bike. I don't know that I would still be able to do it. They say once.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like riding a bike.
I haven't been on a bike in years, and at this point, I'm kind of terrified to try.
See, I would be too.
I think I'd be able to do it, but it took me a while to get the training wheels off. I was probably, I forget how old I was, but it was older than a lot of my friends when I finally learned how to ride the bike without the training wheels.
I know, baby.
I was also a rollerblader. Like we would, in elementary school, we lived in a part of the city. We lived literally right across from one of the major universities in Evansville, the University of Evansville. And we lived right across from a giant parking lot. So over the summer, when I was kind of not on my own, but like parents inside the house, I would just go right across the street into that parking lot and like ride laps on my bike, or I'd pull on my rollerblades and go skate laps in the parking lot. I do miss rollerblading, but I feel like
I do too.
There's no good way to like.
And they don't have our skating ring anymore. They closed ours. They closed the one in Owensboro. So it's like, oh my gosh. Is
Skate World still open?
Oh, I don't know. Is that in Evansville?
Yeah,
I've never been to the one in Evansville.
Skate World was in middle school the cool place to be on Friday nights because
I remember going to the skating
ring
every Friday, even as in elementary school, later elementary.
Girl Scouts did like skate parties and stuff like that. I was
not
good
do
on
Girl Scout
skates.
camp too.
Oh yeah, I did do that all the time because it was.
I never did the overnight camp, but I would.
I didn't do summer
day camp.
Overnight camp either.
I remember doing tie-dyeing at Girl Scout camp. Like, and you had to, okay, so when you went to Girl Scout camp, did you have to do the buckets that all your stuff was inside of? Like the big Lowe's thing, and you had the sit-upons, that's what they were called.
Yeah, and you had a plate, a cup, silverware.
Your cup plate, and you had to hang them from the line to dry. We made ice cream.
Ponchos.
Ice cream.
Yes, I remember
like the heavy-duty ponchos.
Yep. I barely remember Girl Scout. I mean, because I did Girl Scout one year, but I barely remember it or remember anything about it. but I still remember my troop
candles?
number.
Hey,
1450. Woo!
I gotta go find my stuff.
We'll
I
have
know.
a Girl
I
Scout
don't think
deep
I still have
dive.
it.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We can keep this in the episode. We are planning to do a Girl Scout deep dive this season, so
Yes.
Yeah.
we will have all the
Absolutely.
Girl Scout stories. But we're saving it to where at least I can go home when I go home for the holidays to grab stuff from
Get
my
our
mom.
stuff.
So, Mom, if you're listening, can you please pull out my Girl Scout stuff?
I'm gonna ask
Where's
my
my
mom
brownie
tomorrow.
vest?
Oh.
I had a
brownie
brownie
vest.
sash.
We
I
had
had
the
a
sash.
daisy
Sashes.
vest, and I never made it to juniors. I got too busy with
I made it
other
all the way
stuff.
to the end. I did my silver project, and I was working on gold, and we'll talk
My
about
mom-
that later.
My mom did almost all of it. So
The gold was
My
the
mom
top.
was Cookie Mom at one
My mom
point.
too.
yeah.
I just found this. Whoop. My sister and I and my grandma.
Oh, how
So
cute!
I sent it to it's a picture of my sister and I riding. It was like a big wheels type thing.
Yeah.
I love that.
My grandma's carrying my sister's tricycle
Do
in the
you know
background.
who has never rode a bike?
Alex.
Really?
No
We
way.
should,
He never,
we should teach
never
him how
has
to ride
learned.
a bike.
So funny story. When we went to Louisville I've just to stay overnight, we had a free stay at the hotel one downtown, and our friends went with us, and we decided to rent scooters to ride around town instead of using the car. And Alex was like, "Oh my
How'd
god,"
that go?
because I was like, "Are you gonna be all right?" He goes, "We'll see." So
Scooters are easier than a
So
bike.
like, yeah.
You
So I
need
was
to
like,
stand,
once you get the hang of
balance.
it, but like, I'd look, Alex would be in the back. He would kill me for hearing this, but he was like, he would be in the back, and
We
I'd see
love
him
you
going.
and we support you, Alex.
And I was
Hey.
like, "Honey, how you doing?" And he's like, "Shut up."
I want to
Speaking
ride
of
one of those.
scooters, I used to have
I
a
love those
Razor
things.
scooter that I rode everywhere.
We
over
never
the
had
summer.
that.
Oh, it was just one of those
Kids love
fold
them.
up
They have them.
Razor scooters, and I don't know how I have to have fractures in
Oh,
my
man.
shins from
My
those
sister,
things.
my sister had one. She would like ride it back up like the driveway, and then she would just kind of like toss it in the grass. My mom would be like, "Don't throw it in the grass."
I'm like, "Don't throw it on the ground."
Dad's
with
gonna
the
run over it with the
kickstand."
lawnmower.
I remember
Throw it in the grass.
Skip It was an injury.
I always
Skip it,
wanted to skip it
skip
so bad.
We had a pogo stick. That was fun.
That is a shin mess
I
rubber.
also had
It
ribbon
is.
dancers.
Oh
I
my God.
would be out in my backyard with just ribbon dancer. I
I've got a.
I had a regular one, and then I had one that was like fancy that had like a radio. Somehow it had like a radio in the handle.
I remember those.
Yeah, and
yes.
so I could like turn on the radio and like ribbon dance.
You're
to the
doing your
radio.
own
the ribbon
routine.
dance. I
Yeah.
remember those.
I've got a
But
cat
I
toy
should
for
have
Phoebe
been a
that is
rhythmic
essentially a ribbon
gymnastic.
dancer.
Yeah, man, I should have been a rhythmic gymnastics.
Oh,
Like
You
Lizzie
had
McGuire.
all the pieces there.
Yeah, I could have gone to the Olympics, man. It would have been amazing.
you missed your calling.
I've been like, I've been training since I was 5.
Move over, Mary Lou Retton. I know you don't ribbon dance, but just move over.
Move over, I got
be like,
this.
Move over, Hillary Duff. Let me show you how
Put
it's
me
done.
in, coach.
That makes me think.
Cadet
What was that
Kelly
movie?
does.
Cadet Kelly.
Cadet
yeah.
Kelly.
Yes.
She's like, they're like, oh.
Oh, man.
Whatever. And she also did an episode of Lizzie McGuire, so
Yes.
and it was like
Yeah,
the
I
most
loved
amazing
The
thing.
weirdest episode of Lizzie
Yeah.
McGuire.
Dumb.
Slow mo,
They're
dramatic
like, oh my
music.
gosh,
To
she's
rib-
incredible.
She's good.
Ribbon dancing. It was bizarre.
She can
And she can actually do like a backflip in real life, and they had to do
Yeah.
ribbon dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on.
Also,
Do a backflip
congratulations
while
to
ribbon
Hilary
dancing.
Duff, who just signed again with Atlantic Records, who's going to start making music again.
yeah.
So
I feel like
congrats,
everyone's
awesome.
congrats
coming
Hilary
back.
Duff. We got one of our 90s, early 2000 girls coming back.
I like it.
This cat is pestering me. She can't get out.
I'm
I need
happy.
out, mama.
She's like, I
That's
need
why
out. And
I-
I keep hollering for
Mom,
Alex, and
mommy,
he's ignoring me.
mama.
At the beginning, I heard
Mama.
Honey like bashing her whole body into the door trying to get
Yeah.
in. She did that during therapy this morning. I was
Oh, no.
on the call with my therapist, and she shoved the whole door open and just popped up on the screen. They're like, "Oh, who's this?" And I'm like,
Poor baby.
"She's annoying. It's okay." Get out of
It's like-
here.
Henry is
Not
laying on
laughing.
the floor right above me because I keep hearing him rolling over as he's napping. All right. Have we covered everything?
Covered a lot.
We
covered a
talked
lot.
about a lot of stuff. This one's going to be a longer one. Don't
Oh.
cut out all the extra stuff, Alex. Give it to the people. They want it.
The people want what they want. Give it to them.
All right. I will wrap it up then. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today to talk about
Yeah.
our summer fun. Tell us, what were some of your favorite
Yeah.
summer activities you got up to as a kid? You can find us on all the socials at Splat Attack Podcast. You can send us an email at, is it splatattack2021
Yes.
at gmail.com.
Mhm.
Yeah, shoot us, let us know. I'm sure we'll have lots of posts and reels popping up about this, but yeah, let us know. And join us next episode.
Next episode.
And if you
Where-
would like to send us some pictures or videos of you ribbon
Yeah.
dancing, we would love it.
Yeah, tag us
Goodness.
on some of your
Tag it.
posts.
Yes.
Tag us in all your stuff. We love it. I'll go try and dig up some old pictures and stuff too. But yeah, I hope everyone is staying happy and safe. It's crazy out there. But thank you for joining us for another episode of Girl Turn, and we will catch you next time.
Catch you later.
Catch you later. This episode was recorded at Splat Attack Studios in virtual home studios, though none in Florida.